welcome back to another episode of the Spawn Trap Podcast, the podcast that promises not to charge your favorite game developers 20 cents every time you press play. I am joined by Cord FTW,
Me again.
Till, and it's been a while.
Yes.
Been a
So much
lot of
has
stuff that
happened.
has happened since we last
Yep.
talked.
Yep.
Particularly, uh, pretty much the Xbox Activision thing went through such a bumpier road than we were expecting, I think, but it's like coming to a conclusion now, where I think this week, I'm pretty sure it's this week, they're set to like finalize everything.
About time.
Yeah. It's been a long
All the
road.
obstacles that they've had to overcome.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my goodness. Finally.
We want to not make this podcast all about that. We want to have some fun because it is October. The Game Awards is coming up.
Yes.
They haven't announced any nominations or anything, but I've just been thinking there are so many games, so many like big games that were released this year that all have like Game of the Year potential. And there's still
Finally.
yeah, there's still other games that are coming out that have just come out that are potential Game of the Years. So, what's it gonna be? I don't know.
I almost want if it gets nominated, if it does, I would almost I want to make the prediction of Cyberpunk because like the
A
new
big
the new one
possibility,
came out.
yeah.
And a part of me is like, now that it's finally basically done, and it even before the new expansion came out, it was such a good game, and I really did like that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe this is its redemption arc, and it'll take that game of the year because people were like, just give it to them, they deserve it. The work that they've done.
I think that's a huge possibility, Cyberpunk, because I see
Yeah,
nothing but great things said about that
yeah.
game. Um, but there's just so
I feel like
much.
Baldur's Gate is just so.
Do you think it could be Baldur's Gate?
I feel like because it's such a big audience that it's reached, and D&D, like the
Yeah.
hordes of those people, of the D&Ders
Sure, yeah.
came forward to be like, this will be the game. And for people that also haven't ever played D&D, are also, I'm assuming you're enjoying it because you've never played
Mm-hmm.
D&D.
Yep.
And it's like it's such a good game. And yeah, so I believe that one. But it's like, again, our joke is that the amount of glitches and things that happen in that game, and we're like,
Yeah.
game of the year.
I will say I just noticed I hit record but not stream, and I try to do both. So I'm not streaming live, but it's like streaming to a private thing on YouTube,
Oh,
just in
gotcha.
case the recording messes up, and then I have something to back up with.
Yeah.
So if you missed the entire intro of this podcast because I lost the recording and I'm using the YouTube version, I
Mm.
apologize. That was my mistake. But we're talking about Game of the Year. Usually I don't have much insight into this discussion because I'm not playing like the brand new AAA releases as they come out before the awards start.
Hmm.
But I feel like collectively, like both of us, we've played a few of these games where we can at least talk about it, or at
Yeah.
least what we think might be considered Game of the Year.
Yeah. A part of me also, as much as it's like the three, so Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like will
That's a
definitely
big one
be at
too.
least.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
pull
because
up a
that.
list here because this is Wikipedia critically acclaimed titles for this year based on Metacritic.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom is up there. It's right at the top.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
just
Baldur's Gate.
I'm sure we'll
Yeah,
go
they're like
through a list
96.
and be like, oh yeah, that came out this year. Case in
Right?
point, Metroid Prime Remastered.
Loved that game.
Yeah, that
I
came
can't
out this year.
yeah, that's true. That was I you know what, and that's the thing, like the fact that it's a remaster,
Yeah,
and I was just so impressed with like how it was a GameCube game and then so replayable and just the immersiveness of discovering things was so well done.
Yeah.
Like I almost miss playing that game, and that's why as much as I'm like, oh, maybe I'll play another Metroid like game, but I'm like, there won't be another one like that. It'll be the Mania. Um, so I'm just like,
Well,
I
I
don't
think
know.
if they do a remaster of 2, I mean that could potentially be like another. I think that would be the same if they do a remaster of 2.
That would be
I
awesome.
didn't get far into the remaster, but it is so much. Like they improved so much from the original. Obviously, like most of it is just the visual aspect of the game,
And the
but
controls, I would
the
say.
controls, yeah, that's the other thing. It's
Yeah.
much better. It's like this is the definitive way to play the game. If you missed out on the game on GameCube, it's still a great game on the GameCube, but I feel like you're better off getting it on the Switch. Also,
Yeah.
they did a port of it on the Wii as well, which had motion controls. I never played that
Oh,
one, so I don't know.
gross.
I don't know how well that one worked.
I mean, the
Um,
motion controls on the Switch now are pretty phenomenal. Like whenever I
Not a lot of
like play
games use it though.
I'm like Zelda, it's like the aim, and I'm always like,
Yeah, I just turned it
and
off
it's
recently.
yeah, it's really funny watching me play,
Yeah.
especially like and I'll just be with like with the handheld, like playing the Switch, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, I got him. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm aiming my arrow.
I was recently watching a video, someone breaking down the games that use the infrared sensor on the Joy-Con.
Oh,
Yeah, because like
Ring Fit
barely any
Adventure.
games use this, and some
Yeah.
games kind of use it like a camera situation.
Oh.
Um, like there's that game 1-2 Switch, like you have to pretend you're eating a sandwich and it like tries to track you like
Oh,
opening and closing your mouth. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I know Ring Fit Adventure does it for your heart rate,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
But yeah, I don't see too much. There's not a lot of like Wii like motion control games on the Switch, and I was kind of
I
like
en-
kind
I
of looking
like
forward to that.
how there is a mobile game on there.
Uh, Six Ages 2 Lights Going Out. I don't know anything about that game,
Yeah,
but
and apparently it's one of
96.
the best games.
It's only on iOS. That's why I don't have any Apple devices. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Um, I think there's a lot of like ports and stuff on here too. Yeah, there's Resident Evil 4,
Oh,
Tetris Effect Connected. Street Fighter 6 came out this year.
yeah.
That's I think that's
Son of
probably gonna
a
win the
bitch.
fighting game categories for sure. I don't know
Oh,
about
for
game of the
sure.
year, but um
Right? Yeah, definitely not game of the year, but definitely.
oh, that Dead Cells Castlevania crossover came out. I didn't even realize that. That was in March. They did like
Yeah.
a crossover with Dead Cells and Castlevania.
Yeah. Again, not like my kind of game. That's like I've people try to get me to play Hades, even though I've heard it's a fantastic game. I'm like,
Mm,
I appreciate. Again, I can play a game and not like it, but then appreciate
right.
it being a good game. Yeah. And Diablo
Um
4.
yeah, so it says specifically Xbox Series X. So is it just like because when did Diablo 4 come out originally? Yeah,
Yeah,
is it
June 6th. Yeah.
2023? Okay, so it did come out this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out yeah, June. And Sea of Stars, that's a really good game. That's a
Yeah,
really good game.
you played that one.
Mm,
I
I
see a
am
lot of
playing
people.
it.
Yeah, a lot of
Because
people are
it's
saying
free
that's
on
great.
Game Pass. Yeah, but it's just like the battle system and like and I should probably play some more of it because I know the story like they've insinuated things in the story where they're like, "Oh, just wait till they find like until they reach the end. I don't know why they're making the kids do this." And I'm like, "What's going to
Yeah.
happen?" I'm so excited to see this grotesque thing that's going to shock the fuck out of me. Pumped.
I feel like I'm kind of in that way, waiting for. A lot of people are saying like Starfield gets great at a certain point, and I'm just waiting
Mm,
to like get to that point to see what everybody's talking about.
yeah.
So Starfield's another one that a lot of people are liking.
Yeah, even
Um,
Baldur's Gate, I'm like, I decided to put my solo campaign on hold
Okay.
and play just like the co-op with you, because it's
Sure.
the fact that I'm so in line with our campaign. And I like the other day, I was like, "Ah, I have to go to the fucking Underdark and I gotta fight this thing." And I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm skipping the Underdark in my solo game. I'm just gonna fuck off and go to the next area.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe if I just wait to do my solo campaign and like until we're done, because then we can focus really on our like campaign, and then just and then I won't be so like I'm already almost 100 hours in, and we're not even on like act two.
Yeah. If you want to see us play, we stream on our own channels. Right now it's Sunday nights.
Yeah.
That's when we do it.
Should be back to
Um,
normal next week.
Next week, so
Sunday.
we missed
This
our game night,
Sunday.
so I'm wondering if we can do that on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if depending on who shows up, I would feel like maybe switch to Baldur's Gate. But if enough people show up for game night, I got a few people that joined when I was playing Observation Day, and they seemed really like, oh, you guys do community or like community nights. I
Yeah,
was like, please join us. They're so much fun.
yeah. My we'll talk about this after podcast because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
game of
Uh,
the year.
I didn't know Moss Book 2 came out. That's like a VR game for PlayStation.
Oh.
I don't know if you've seen the first one. You're like a little
Mm.
mouse. You're like exploring the world, but you'll have like a top-down perspective of the mouse.
Yeah.
Um,
Persona 4 Golden came out.
yep, that's right.
Yep.
Um, and
And then
there's my
they keep making there's like another Persona, but it's just a remake again. I'm like, make
yeah.
a new game.
I feel like there's
New game.
games missing here. So the games just came out. So there's I'm gonna try to think of it. Uh, Assassin's Creed Mirage just came out, and that's getting a lot of great reviews.
Yeah.
Um, Detective Pikachu just came out. I doubt that's gonna be Game of the Year, but it's I think it's a big game nonetheless
In the game
to
of the
talk
year,
about.
Detective Pikachu. Ryan Reynolds comes out.
Yeah. uh, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is coming out very soon.
Oh
Um,
yeah, these are all the Nintendo games that were announced, eh?
yeah. Sonic something. I can't remember what the game's called. It's the co-op Sonic game.
Oh
That's coming up
yeah.
soon. Wait, didn't the like big open world Sonic game come out this year too?
Yes.
Frontiers?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that was last year.
That was last year? Okay.
I'm pretty sure because I like that. Like I'm like, "Pfft, yeah, that was when I was still at what's it fucking called, the store.
I do have upcoming games. I have the
How
Game
much we need
Awards
game
website.
opener?
They haven't announced anything, but like maybe we can go through like the past categories and just try to like guess what they think what they're gonna announce
It's
for those games.
hard
What?
because even I remember what
Eastward, yeah,
Disco
yeah.
Elysium. Oh, Eastward, I fucking love
Yeah.
it. Oh, such a good game. But again, it's indie, so like, um, what's it? When Disco Elysium won,
Hmm.
I had no idea what the fucking this game was. Like no, it just came out of the blue, won all of its categories basically, and then won Game of the
Yeah.
Year. And I was like, I guess I'll buy this game. And you know what? It was a really good game. I actually got asked on stream of if I had to relive a gaming experience, what game would it be? Like
Yeah.
for the first time, like to relive an experience for the going through a game for the first time, and I was like Disco Elysium because it was like such a good game,
Yeah.
but there was just a lot to it, and then to try to replay it, there's so much reading, and it loses a lot of its like not like vintage or like
Re-
authenticity or whatever.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but to replay it again, you're like, oh, okay, like you kind of already know what's going to happen, but then you can
Right.
fail because it has a rolling system. So there are different outcomes, but it's still, there's like a lot to it. And then you kind of know the end
Right.
in a way. But again, it can still change. But yeah, it was just like, I would like to replay that game for the first time and just, wow.
Another big game coming out very soon is Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a huge one as well. Um, Now I have a list from GameSpot of like games that came out this year or are coming soon. Maybe we can go through here. But forgot that Hi-Fi Rush came out at the beginning of the year. that was a surprise release for Xbox that got like
That was
crazy.
such a popular, yeah, that was super
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah, it just like came out of nowhere and everybody loved it. It's like a kind of like a spiritual successor to Jet
Jet Set
Set
Radio
Radio.
Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out for the Switch recently too.
Yeah.
And I like my friend showed it to me and then that's another game. I don't think I would play it again
Right.
because like playing it for the first time on the Xbox when it came with the double pack was just and like sitting in my basement and not having friends and just playing this game was like just meant something to me. And, like now I'm like I don't have time. I have
Um
friends now.
did you forget that the GoldenEye 007 port came out at the beginning of this year?
Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I should try to play through that again.
Definitely
Or
not
like
not game of the year though.
no, no, 100% no. Undisputed? What?
um
Undisputed?
Undisputed.
Undisputed? What?
Boxing game?
Oh,
Oh, wait,
gross.
no, it's not. What is this? I don't know. There's like it's there's a
What?
um esports boxing clubs trying to pick up. Okay. I don't know. There's some sort of boxing thing on here. I want to
Weird.
know what's undisputed.
Yeah.
It's
Looks
not
like
showing
Dragon
anywhere.
Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, like look at his eyebrows.
Yeah. Let me see. Game. Undisputed game. Yeah, this is a boxing
A
thing.
box. That's so. Why was that photo so strange?
I have no idea. Also, this is early access. I don't think this is the game that. Yeah, January 31st, 2023. So that is the same game.
Yeah, it's a boxing game.
Never heard of it. I doubt it's gonna
Nor have I.
be. It's
Ooh.
mixed reviews. Oh, all reviews mostly positive. So
Okay. Not
maybe
bad. Not bad.
maybe it'll be part of the game of the year conversation. I don't
Yeah.
know. Let's go back to the list here.
Doubtful. It's a fighting game.
Um, oh yeah, another upcoming game is the Avatar game. Avatar uh something Pandora from
Oh,
Ubisoft. So that's like their big game
like
that they're hyping up.
Avatar the Blue People?
Yes, Avatar the Blue People.
Oh.
It's like a I think it's a single player and multiplayer game. You play as an avatar. No, you play as what are they called? The race. Um, I don't remember. It's been forever since I watched the first movie, but you play
There's like
as.
more races now.
Oh, is there? Okay.
There's like
You
the
play as
forest.
one of the blue characters
Mhm.
who was kidnapped by humans and like raised by humans to like join their military, and then you were let go or you escaped or something, and you're trying to like revisit your native roots and what it's like to be that person in that world because you grew up in such a like a foreign environment, right? um which I feel like might hit like home to a lot of people.
Navi.
Navi, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're Navi, you're kidnapped by humans, and then you're released and sent back to live with and rediscover your roots and with other Navi. So
Mm.
I feel like that's a very relatable story to a lot of people. So so it's
Ooh, Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy came out, yeah.
That I feel like
That's
that
right.
wouldn't only because it only got like all the clout because of the drama. And that's why I feel
I
like
don't know how much
it
drama. I
got
feel like it's manufactured drama. If
I
like
mean like
there's legitimate drama there, I understand, but the push, the like the overwhelming amount of it, I think was just manufactured.
you think so?
It's just yeah, it's just like creating drama for drama's sake. I get where the drama is stemming from because
Yeah.
J.K.
Well, that's
Rowling
like
is a horrible piece of shit,
yeah.
but like it was just like over the top, just bullying at that point for me. Like consider,
Yeah.
I feel like enough time has passed, or like I didn't want to talk about that game because of how ruthless people were attacking streamers and creators and stuff who just wanted
Yeah.
to play this game.
Yeah.
And I feel like enough time has passed where it's like I get it. I'm in agreement with all of you. She's a horrible person, and I get a lot of the undertones in her writing and stuff like that. It's horrible. But I like despite that, like I can always separate the art from the artist. We've talked about
Yes.
that on a
Yeah.
recent Marvel podcast about Joss Whedon being a piece of shit, and but
Yeah.
we still really like
Yeah.
Firefly and stuff.
Because the
So
biggest thing is like being like for me being a part of a really big team
yeah,
is like it's not about one single person. Obviously, it's a really shitty thing if one
yeah,
single person kind of is a piece of shit, crap, human garbage.
yeah,
But it's like there's everyone else that like deserve like that worked hard and
hmm,
deserves that like to be like yeah no we like it was a labor of love and it was such a good
yeah,
game. I've only played a little bit of it. I've because I don't have time. I haven't been able to really sink hours and my computer just fucking sucks with it as well.
yeah,
But it's like, yeah, you have to separate the art from the artist. And there, if you wanted to not support that person, there are other ways than bullying. And because you basically, like, I feel like they,
and I don't think the
again,
boycotts do anything for like it didn't do anything for this game or for the
it made
creator.
it even more popular. And that
Yeah,
was it because a lot more people started focusing. And that's where I feel like, it was drama for drama's sake, where news outlets really focused on that drama, which then just made it blow up even more,
yeah,
even though it probably wasn't as bad as we thought it was.
yeah,
But yeah, so it's just like cuz even like I had a coworker and they're a part of that community and I remember when they were selling the game and they were like it's really hard to be excited for this and I had to kind of tell them like listen, it's like it's nothing against you. Like did these people just want to
yeah.
simply play this game? You have to think about everyone else and not just like this one shit person because it's like yeah, just
Yeah, but like we're not dismissing or um like diminishing the point of hearing people out on the legitimate issues.
mhm,
I'll speak for myself. I'm a big supporter of trans rights and I support trans people and I will
yep,
always push for that. I've donated to charities and stuff to support the cause and everything. And I don't think the overwhelming backlash that this game had to try to stick it to J.K. Rowling. I don't think that point was made, and I think this was
no,
the wrong way to go about it.
yeah,
Um, so
I agree.
yeah,
Anyways, yeah, so
but the game
maybe
though,
that game will yeah,
is
the
the game
game.
good? Is the game
Yeah,
good?
I
Okay.
mean, like, it's if you were a Harry Potter fan
Hmm.
and you've always wanted to, like, live in that fantasy, that's the game to play. It's just so immersive
Yeah,
and, like, because you get to be, like and that's,
a
like,
wizard.
this when it comes to games where it's based off of something that's already been created, like, for example, would be Attack on Titan,
Hmm.
and like, even Spider-Man would be one. It's like you're not playing through, like, a, like trying to think of an example, like the old Harry Potter games that came out where it's like the
I want to
Chamber of
play
Secrets.
those.
Yeah, me too, me
I
too.
played.
We should play them together and just be like,
Okay.
"These are shit."
I
We
remember
gotta
playing
remember
one
that
of
they were
them
small.
back in the day on PC. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I want to
We should
revisit those games.
we should for December as, like, a Christmas special, or, like, November, December, we should just play, like, the shitty Harry Potter games and then
Yeah.
just, like yeah, just play through them together and, like, be like, "Where are you at?" I'd be like, "I can't get past this one fucking part." Um but it's like games where you get to create your own character and then live your own story in that world that you've loved so much because
Hmm.
Attack on Titan did that where they made it so that you got to make your own character and live in that world and you forged your own storyline in a way but you're still following the series but in you being a part of it and like that's what they should do whenever they make a game based off of like a franchise or something that's already been made and already
Yeah.
has a story. So but yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm
Great game.
scrolling through some other games here. We'll just see what we got. But Octopath Traveler 2 came out this year.
Did
Um,
anyone ever finish it? I've never finished the first one.
that's a good point. But I don't think you have to
Did
finish
anyone
the
get
game
it?
to for the judges to if we're speaking specifically for game awards. I
Yeah.
don't think the judges have to finish the game technically
Oh,
to review it or vote on it.
mm,
This has a Metacritic of 84. It looks like GameSpot gave it an 8.
Not bad.
I think Valheim was also no. Okay,
Have
I thought
they
this game was.
updated? I feel like they've updated it since,
Oh, 2021. Why is this on the list? Never mind
because
then.
I think they did do an update, but
Okay.
it was an okay game. I think
Of
I like, man, the forest. Such a good
course, yeah.
fucking
Resident.
love the
Now,
forest.
also something to consider. Jeff Keighley doesn't always make the stipulation the game has to come out this year. I know, like sometimes Fortnite or some other like ongoing games
Mm,
get into consideration. But uh, if we're talking about like ports, remakes, and stuff, there's two on this list right here that we're looking at. Resident Evil 4 remake and The Last of Us um,
came out for
remastered, I guess.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those both happened this year, and that I think those could be on the list too.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. So I don't know, like,
I
of
think
where are we right now? April?
April. Yeah, I think that's, and then we had mentioned the other ones before. Ghostwire Tokyo. Ooh, that's for free right now, isn't it?
It's on. It's coming to Game Pass soon, or it just got released on Game Pass. I just did a video.
I
I
know.
don't.
I saw
I
the
don't
video
remember what
and I
I
was like,
said.
yeah.
I'm
And
like, oh,
then,
Ghost Rider Tokyo is the big one. That's coming out soon.
yeah, because
So yeah.
my other friend said that he was like, yeah, it's free right now, and I was like, what? Oh my god. Let me check Epic. I know I have all these
uh,
launchers just for the free
I
games.
know Dead Island 2 will not be in consideration because
Oh
that
no.
game got some negative feedback.
Oof. And that game took eons to come out.
Yeah.
Eons.
Yeah. Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, that's gonna be I think that will definitely be on there, Hogwarts Legacy. Um
Yes, for sure.
I think honestly the I think the big ones I don't know if I feel like Starfield has a chance because there's like some reviewers that are really loving Starfield. But then there's like some that are like, it's not like they didn't like everything they promised is not there. It's it's just another Bethesda game. Like those kind
Yeah.
of comments. So I don't really know, but I feel like if I was to pit, because they came around at the same time, a lot of people are comparing the two games, Starfield and Baldur's Gate. If I had to put the two together and like place bets on what's going to win, I would say Baldur's Gate. But you never know. You never know with the Game Awards. So
Yeah. A part of me is like, even with Baldur's Gate, because it's only for PC right now.
yeah, it's coming soon to
So,
consoles.
but again, I don't know. Like Nintendo always kind of comes in clutch because it's
Yeah,
Nintendo with like, and then it's Zelda, and
yeah,
Zelda has like, but that's the thing is like they have such a long old fan base that kind of I think really ups it. But then Baldur's Gate, because it was D&D, I
yeah.
think that really, and like Baldur's Gate is a classic from way before as well,
Right.
that it could like, I feel like Baldur's Gate for sure, but I'm part of me is like Cyberpunk.
Is
Yeah.
Oxenfree 2 a Game of the Year contender?
No. I'm still getting into it. I need to play more of it because I was really enjoying playing it. I feel like I shouldn't play it on stream. I always get very distracted with everyone talking to me, and then I'm like, wait, what are we supposed to be doing? And there's a lot of dialogue in that game
Yeah.
as well.
I know a lot of people love Blasphemous 2. That came out in where are we right now?
Again.
August. Yeah.
Stray,
Stray
so
was
good.
so Stray just came out for Xbox, but it was on
But it came out
PlayStation.
the yeah, yeah,
I think previous
before.
year, yeah.
So such a good game. Such a good
Um,
game. Love it.
Ar- Armored Core was released this year, right? And I think a lot of
I
people
don't know.
like that.
Now it's like, I don't even know. Monster Hunter
Yeah.
now. Mortal
Oh,
Kombat 1.
yeah,
Liza
But
P just came out. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat has a lot of controversy though, especially for Switch.
Oh, because of the
Yeah.
graphic.
But Liza
I
P,
mean,
yeah, Liza
what
P
were
is a
they
big one.
expecting? They're like, "Oh, these graphics suck. I was expecting something
Yeah,
spectacular. Come on, come on, get down from there. Get
I
down,
don't
sit
know.
down."
I don't know what they were thinking. But
Right?
yeah, Liza P is as another one that people are loving right now.
What about Party Animals? Do you think that's a game of the year?
No, because it's just
Maybe
a
for a
silly
community
party game.
game.
Yeah, but it is a fantastic game. So
I want to get it now. It looks like a lot of fun.
if you have if you want to like find a fun party game to play with a lot of friends, sort of like kind of like Fall Guys meets what's that game that we Gang Beasts kind of
Gang
um
Beasts, yep.
that the
Fall
game's a lot of
Guys,
fun.
Humans
I've
Fall
streamed it.
Flat.
Yeah, Human Fall Flat. I've streamed it a couple times. I don't think I've laughed as hard on stream before.
I
So,
piss myself laughing when I play Gang Beasts and like Humans Fall Flat.
yeah.
Like it is like I should wear a diaper when I play those fucking games. Like, you know, I just laugh so hard. Oh man.
What are the reviews on Payday 3? Because I don't think I've heard anybody talking about it. Oh,
Oh,
67 on Metacritic.
eek.
Yikes. Okay. Probably not. Probably not Payday 3. Um, yeah, Cyberpunk. Oh yeah, I forgot this. Counter Strike 2 came out like out of nowhere.
Counter
Um,
Strike 2. Oh my god, what?
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
2?
I think they replaced Counter Strike. So I think if you have Counter Strike, you get like
Oh,
you
they're like,
automatically get Counter Strike 2.
we finally updated this for you
It's like
guys.
yeah, it's like an Overwatch situation.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, a lot of big games this year. There's still stuff coming out. That's what we're on here. So we got Assassin's Creed Mirage just came out. Warhammer 40,000 Darktide just came out. I think there's a lot of people liking that right now.
Yeah, but again,
Um,
that's a niche market too.
yeah, the
As
Warhammer,
much
yeah,
as it's
sure.
probably gotten more popular because of Henry Cavill being all like, Warhammer, everyone. I'm a nerd and I'm hot.
Yeah. Honkai Star Rail, big release.
Oh yeah, I kept seeing TikTok advertisements.
Yeah, I see a
They're
lot of
like, "This is the
advertisements
best
for
game
that.
ever," and I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Get out of here with your gotcha game."
uh yeah, Sonic Superstars is the game that's like the multiplayer one. Oh, that Hellboy game comes out this year. Hellboy Web of Weird. That game looks cool. Um, Gargoyles Remastered is coming out soon. I forgot about that too.
Gargoyle. No
Yeah.
way. Soon? Oh, I'm
I forget
so
where that
pumped.
was announced. That might have been announced at the limited run games showcase during Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
Um, see, there's a Jackbox Party Pack 10 coming out soon. Ooh, interesting. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is out on October 20th.
And
Super Mario
then
Brothers Wonder on the same day.
yeah. Oh, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. Let's
Yep,
go.
that's a big one. Yeah, so Alan Wake 2 is coming out. Uh, it's hard to say like what is going to end up winning. This is a crazy year
Yeah.
for games.
It really it was overwhelming. I hated it.
Mario,
It
you hated it.
yeah,
Uh,
it was just it was too much.
too much. Mario RPG is coming to Switch November 17th.
Oh shit.
The big one a lot of people are looking forward to. Is there I know Nintendo recently had their showcase. They announced a bunch of stuff. I don't remember if it was all coming out by the end of the year or not.
Yeah.
Um I'm trying to see if there's other Nintendo games on this list too. Because there was I know that they announced the Paper Mario game that people were losing their minds over. I don't know when that's coming out. It's like a remake of the GameCube one. Um Oh, Pal World's coming out. Wait, is this am I in
Power. Oh yeah, Power World's coming out
December?
soon in November.
Oh, this is to be announced. Is it November? Oh yeah, I scrolled past December. Let me click on Pal World if I can, cause okay, for PC, yeah. This no, it says January 2024, so that's gonna be after the Game Awards.
Oh, okay.
So we'll miss out on that. I'm looking forward to trying that game out.
Yeah, that's Pokemon with guns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Pokemon
excited too.
DLC also recently got released as well.
I was very tempted to get it because I gotten Smash Bros to practice, and then I was like, I'm gonna trade this in. And then oh my god, I was like, oh maybe I'll put it toward I'll get Pokemon again, or I'll
Yeah.
edge guarantee it and get Pokemon again, but which I technically should have done because I feel like it would have cost almost the same, but then I would have had to find a used version of Violet, I think, because I had gotten Violet
Right.
and then gotten the expansion, which would have cost money. Instead, I just traded it in, and I got Death Stranding for PS5 because I want to try it for PS5. And then I realized because my one guy friend, he has his PS5 and he's been wanting to play it, and I was like, oh, I'll just like
Mhm.
and put the disc in my steelbook for my Death Stranding, and I
Yeah.
open it and I still have my PS4 version. I was like, oh, I
Oh,
still have this game. Thought I would
nice.
have traded it in by now, but I was like, and sometimes to me, like when I really like games, I'll keep them.
Yeah.
If it's a game that I'm like, oh, probably won't play this again, I'll just trade it in. But apparently, I liked it enough to keep it. So there you go, Kojima.
Nice.
Hyped your game.
So what do you think? What do you think is going to be game of the year? Honestly, like
I would
I'm
vote for Cyberpunk just to be like, or maybe it would win fan favorite.
fan favorite.
Maybe, yeah.
I think
I
Cyberpunk's a good bet. I would. I think I'm torn between Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate.
Same. But like I just want to not vote for either of those because I'm like part of me's like they're gonna win probably,
Yeah.
but just go for Cyberpunk and go for the underdog.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So the Game Awards is happening December 7th, and I'm gonna be here reacting to it. I don't know if you are. I think you said.
I should if what time do they have a
I don't
time?
think they have a time yet. It's on the 7th though.
I
It's
mean,
usually like,
in the evenings.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'd probably be able to make it anyway
Okay.
because it's this side of the coast too
They
usually.
haven't announced like categories or anything, but I can't see. Yeah, view all categories. Here we go. This is from their 2022.
Oh, Game of the Year. Let's see what won last year. God of War
Elden Ring.
or Elden Ring. Oh, everyone knew that one was going to win.
Yeah.
But look what it was up against.
Yeah. Plague Tale
I mean,
Requiem,
God of
God of
War, but
War,
yeah,
Horizon,
but
Stray, Xenoblade. Yeah.
yeah. So Xenoblade. Good try, guys. Good try.
Best game direction.
Elden
I
Ring.
I would say awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I would say Baldur's Gate would win that category.
Yes, for sure. Just the amount of choices and things that happen in that game.
Yeah.
Now, question: if you had to put money, do you think they're going to up security this time?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That kid has been in the news for other horrible shit,
Oh
and
my god,
and
he's
I can't stand people giving him attention. He can just fuck off into non-existence for all I
yeah.
care.
I luckily I haven't seen any of the other stuff aside from that one
Yeah.
time.
He was I know for the writer's strike he showed up and was like harassing some of the strikers.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, what's wrong with him? Give him GTA
He's
6
just
already.
like a
Jeez.
shit poster just for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop giving him
Oh,
attention.
disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyways,
Yeah.
anyways, we're talking about him.
But somebody tried to what was it at? There was another event. Yeah, Jeff Keighley was doing
Yeah, it was recent.
it was
And then
recent,
someone
yeah.
else came up and was like GTA 6 and I'm
Uh
like, "Bro, this is the wrong."
yeah, it was for Gamescom, I think. He was doing Gamescom and then some people like rushed the stage and security quickly like took them off.
Yeah, and then and I felt so bad cuz
Yeah.
even he was like, "Guys, like why does this keep happening? Like come on, like we're trying to fucking have fun here." And these people are just ruining it.
Yeah. Best narrative. I also think would be Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah, narrative
Outstanding
for sure.
storytelling.
I mean, what narrative would fucking Zelda have? Let's
I
be
know,
honest.
or even Starfield.
Uh,
Starfield has like
oh, ooh.
Starfield's about like these group of people who are just like adventurers and want to like study the universe, but like pretty much, I don't think it's as extensive
It's
as
more about
the
yours to
dialogue in.
discover rather than story.
Yeah, you're just like flying in space, like scanning items and stuff like that. There's some dialogue between characters, and it has like dialogue trees and stuff for different characters, like Baldur's Gate has. But I feel like Baldur's Gate it's much more expansive.
Yeah.
And it would definitely win this category for sure. Unless like there's a lot of single player story based games that are
I mean,
great that
Cyberpunk
came
has a
out.
really great story.
Yeah, or like even like what about Sea of Stars? Like, is that a good story as
So far,
well?
yes,
Or
very good story. Yeah.
yeah,
Like I'm like again, I'm really intrigued to see how it kind of pans out. I just haven't had time to really. I've been getting back into Zelda,
yeah,
um, but I think I might take a break from it again.
right.
But it's like Zelda's the kind of game where I can just turn on and then just find like just gather a bunch of stuff. I'll be like, I need some more bombs, and then just
I
torch
feel
it.
you because I'm like the same way with Breath of the Wild right now.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild was always fun that you could
Yeah,
just like go in, like you're like, I know the world is in turmoil right now and I need to really save it, but
yeah,
I'm gonna go jump in this well real quick.
yes, yeah,
Like be
exactly.
right back.
I can also
There's a lot
see
more
like
quests
y-
in Tears of the
Tears
Kingdom.
of the Kingdom. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, you
a lot
got
more quests.
layers of shit to do, right? You got the sky and you got the underground.
And the Underdark.
Yeah.
It's like the down below, which is terrifying. It's so dark.
But I can also see that games like Spider-Man winning if the
Yeah.
story is really good, like a category like this. Also,
And they've always been good with stories too for
yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Miles Morales was fantastic. I love that. Also Immortality was in this category last year, and that game's weird. Like I don't get it. I don't get how like this was even in this category.
Yeah.
To
Half
even begin to
mermaid.
explain this game that I tried playing on stream, I'm like, this was a mistake. Not because it's a bad game, but it's not a stream friendly game. Do not stream
Oh,
Immortality.
are you saying that I should play it alone in my
Yes,
own?
yes,
I'm
definitely
like,
do
no,
not
this is
stream
good.
that one. Um, the amount of times I had to press my technical difficulties button because I'm like, oh, there's a nipple, okay, and oh, those people are having sex on the table. Okay, let me hit technical difficulty.
Watching the thing, I'm like, what?
Yep.
It's
Eh,
only $25. Well.
I'm not gonna go through every category,
Okay, yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna have fun with the Game Awards. I'm
Yes,
looking
I'm
forward to
excited.
the categories that they're gonna announce for sure as well. Um, we actually went through the list of games and stuff pretty like relatively quick. I think. What do you want to talk about from stuff that we missed?
Um, like, well, there's like the layoffs. Are you
Yeah.
talking about that? Yeah.
Um, several. This is probably not even all of them. This is the year of layoffs, which is so sad. Um,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to bring
It's
up any articles here, but
it's such a sad sorry state that the world is in right now.
yeah.
That's really it's just so greedy. I'm like, can we just make some more submarine missions? A couple more? Like, you know,
Sure, sure. I understand what you're saying.
you know what I mean? And but like
This
make it
is
so that there has to be money down before they go. And if they by chance
right.
don't make it, it goes to somewhere else that is in need of the money. That's like
If only the
it's
world
like
worked like that.
yeah, and like the biggest thing, there was one thing that I saw where I think there was like a storm that hit New Orleans or something like that, and it was like The Rock and Oprah, and they were like, "Please donate and like help them." And it's like, can't you just pull out your wallet and no one has to donate at all because you could probably cover this entire thing. People have enough money to probably just own a whole town and to build it and be like, here's a bunch of affordable housing for the like lower end of the population and stuff
Hmm.
like that. That was like in Toronto that happened. Someone built a whole bunch of affordable housing for the homeless people and they tore it all down. Government's like,
Yeah,
nope, you can't do this.
because Toronto, like, I mean, we're getting into politics here, but
Yeah.
The Toronto government, notoriously hates homeless people. I see stories about that all the time.
Then do something
Um,
about it.
and the police, yeah.
Yeah. Just
I mean, the positive thing is they have, I think they have a new mayor or something. I know somebody just
Rob Ford's not there anymore.
no, Rob Ford died from like being a drug
No,
addict.
Doug Ford, sorry.
Doug, Doug
The other
Ford's
one.
yeah, Doug. Don't even get me started on Doug Ford. we're talking about Canadian
Yeah,
politics that nobody.
let's just take a moment and remember when the bug flew in his mouth. Like, can we just take a moment and remember that golden moment?
Yeah. There's some great gifs of Doug Ford that I like laughing at. We'll keep it
Yes.
there. Let's not bring Canadian politics into this video game podcast. But
But yeah, so the way the state of the world's in right now, where
mhm,
it's like, yeah, like it's interesting because everyone knows the problem, because the rich people keep getting more rich, the poor
mhm.
people keep getting more poor, and we know this is happening, and no one, and there's nothing that's being done about it, and
But
it's
this,
just
well,
so.
no, that's not true because this is happening at the same time that this is also the year of unionization because
Yeah.
there's so many developers that are unionizing now while
Yep.
this is happening, and that's great to see. Um, but yeah, like some of the ones that we've kept track of in our Discord and stuff. Play On had layoffs in May. Embracer Group's just, I don't know what they were doing. They bought everything that they could touch last year.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, they
remember?
were acquiring,
Remember
like
all the stories
Russia
we
was trying to do.
Yeah.
Remember when I brought it segued into that?
Yeah, they bought stuff nobody cared about. Like they bought fucking Bandcamp. Um, no, wait, was that Epic? I think Epic did. But they
Oh,
bought they bought like Dark Horse. They bought like
yeah.
all this. They bought the Lord of the Rings, like the property of the Lord of the Rings. Um,
Okay.
and and yeah, were supposed to have a big contract with Saudi Arabia, and that didn't happen. And I'm again, don't get me started on Saudi Arabia. But
Isn't there a
uh
whole thing happening there now, or
there's
two?
always a whole thing happening there. I Again, don't get me started.
Yeah,
Um
yeah,
but uh yeah, guess that contract didn't go through. They were banking everything on that, I guess. Like all the money that they were expecting to have,
yeah,
and now they have no money. So now they're they're going through layoffs. They've dissolved some developers or some development studios. They're selling off properties. They might sell off Gearbox. So yeah, I think that's the big one this year is Embracer Group. But the other big one I would say is Epic Games because Epic
yeah,
Games, um, so they sold off. I think again they sold off Bandcamp, and they've let some people go, but they're like they said they weren't anticipating um like the money that they lost from some Fortnite thing. Where's their statement? I'll try to bring it up.
yeah.
But I'm
Bring
like,
that up because it's not like I have insider info, but
sure.
I knew someone that worked for a company that's like under the umbrella of Epic,
Oh wait, I
and
need to
they like they ended up getting unfortunately laid off during like under that umbrella,
yeah,
and then they were trying to find the work through Fortnite, like Epic Games and stuff like that, because it's like because you can kind of just go through the company
yeah,
sometimes, and it just felt like they couldn't, and the game that they had been working on was like a really big deal with Sony, and then that got scrapped. But it's like, but at the same time, like, we never know, like when there's like games in development and then suddenly these big companies just pull out and they decide to scrap them and then people lose a lot of money from it. Um, but it's like, yeah, with like for like something like Fortnite, for them to like a company that has Fortnite and them be like, yeah,
yeah.
we made the same amount of money that we made last year
Yeah, they're
and
saying that for a while now we've been spending way more money than we earn, investing in the next evolution of Epic and growing
yeah,
Fortnite as a metaverse inspired ecosystem for creators. I had long been optimistic that we could power through this transition without layoffs, but in retrospect, I see that was unrealistic.
yeah,
I call fucking bullshit because you're fucking
yeah.
Epic Games. You're talking about like what's like some of the biggest game companies around that can avoid layoffs. It's Epic fucking Games, man.
Yeah, I like it's really tough cuz like when I look at it in a manager perspective, when like for like I know it's just retail, but when you look at the numbers and stuff, the easiest way to get more money back is to cut the hours and to cut people. It really
Or take
sucks.
it
And
from the top.
but it like that's what like you would think, but they don't want to do that. But then
Of
that's like
course not.
it's like a downward chain, right? So it goes down, and like who's at the bottom are the people that need those hours, and that's where it gets cut, right? Like they're not gonna invest into a better system, no, and they can just cut a couple of like all these people and then gain back all that money because now they don't have to pay all these people. And it's like it's the easiest way, and because again they're not unionized or there's no protection against that, like
Yeah,
mind you, with layoffs you do get like you would get like a severance because then you can at least collect
not
EI.
always for video games developers, because there is a story that
Ooh, I'd like to
CD,
know about that.
I think it was CD Project, no, one of the developers that were laid off were not getting severance, they were saying.
Yeah, I don't think you can get severance, but you'd be eligible for EI, which again is only a percentage of what you were originally making.
Or you're talking about
But
Canadian developers?
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I feel bad for Americans sometimes. I'm just like, oh, you don't have that protection. Mm. like,
I'm trying to
you
remember,
know,
like going through these stories. There's just so much, but one of them, they were
yeah,
saying that they were not getting their severance.
yeah, because usually, yeah, if you've been with the company for a long time, or sometimes there's like severance packages that you can get, depending. But again, like with American companies, it could be a lot different. I know, I'm trying to think without like obviously being too detailed and stuff, because this is like just things that I've heard through other people and everything. Not like on record and stuff, but it's like you like if people have to like lay you off, sometimes they'll offer you, hey, even though you were only with the company for this long, we'll give you extra or XX amount of weeks of severance pay if
Right.
like to take this, and because they don't want you to try to like be like, no, you can't fire me for like this stupid reason, and then try to like do some legal thing about it, or maybe you can't, or maybe you can. But sometimes depending on the company, I know there are some good companies, but yeah, with Epic, for it being as big as it is, and for them to do that,
Yeah,
because I
it's just
think,
because of the size of the.
yeah, when it comes to businesses, like it again, at the end of the day, it's like running a business, and you like it's the scheme of having to make more money than your previous year by a certain percentage
Yeah, but that's just
is
capitalism, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly, right? But they're like,
Nintendo,
"Oh, we
Nintendo
only
did the
made $30
opposite.
million dollars. It's
Nintendo
not enough."
famously, Nintendo famously did the opposite, where uh, was Miyamoto like said, I'm not getting my bonus or whatever because I don't want to have people fired.
Yeah,
Like, like
that's
they,
awesome.
yeah.
You
Uh,
I we can't we just clone him a bunch of times and have him work for the other
yeah.
companies? Because like even well, like obviously the pandemic was a bit different, because that was like when everyone was kind of like,
This was pre-pandemic. This was when
yeah.
Nintendo was like fucked. Like
Oh,
they were like this is Wii U era in Nintendo.
oh wow. They're like, "Oh, we fucked up.
Yeah.
Oops." But it's like I know like some companies where they yeah, like the higher ups will take a pay
Yeah.
cut in order to,
And you know what happened
but
though? Like the people who were still working at Nintendo gave us the Switch, and then Nintendo
yeah,
got out of the
productivity.
situation that they were
They're
in. So
yeah, it
maybe I'm just saying, maybe the people who quote here, well, this was from Tim Sweeney, directly from Tim Sweeney. So Tim Sweeney saying himself, we've been spending way more money than we earn. Sounds like it was a bad management
yeah, it sounds like a management
decision.
issue that you guys should probably, suffer for, not
Yeah,
the
sounds like the
employees that
people making the games are
yeah,
not the
and that's
problem.
right? That's like that again, like, it's just such a sorry state that the world's in with, like, these companies and stuff where, you know I know, like, I'd say this now because 'cause I'm obviously not a billionaire, but I'm like, I would totally, like if I was making so much money,
Hmm.
I'd, like I feel like because of where I've come from and stuff like that, I would just, you know, like be like, okay, if I make this much, then I'm fine, and I can pay
Right,
for this, and like
live
we're
within
like
your
we're
means. Yeah,
yeah, like we're like yeah, live within my mean. I mean, like I spend money
sure.
sometimes,
Yeah,
but like
that's what
it's
people do.
yeah, it would never be like and this is why I like Alana Pierce is
Yeah,
because when she does streams, she won't make it so she makes any money from it. She's like, no, you if you guys are gonna put any money in, go put toward this charity.
yeah.
She doesn't she's
So
like,
she
"I
has
have
a
a
job.
full-time job."
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "I have a full-time job. I don't need this extra money. I
Hmm.
make enough to, do this and everything else can go toward the people that need it."
Yeah.
And that's, that would be, something that like that would be my mentality. Those are the people that I look up
So
to,
she does take
right?
sponsorships, which is
Yeah,
like, is that going to charities, or is she considering that like an additional part-time job at that point?
maybe. I mean, like, but that's like with me, like I have a full-time job, but
Hmm.
my stream goes into my pocket because,
Yeah.
I did take a pay cut when I took the new job. So it's like whatever I can make extra is nice.
Sure.
But if I was making a lot more and stuff, then yeah, it's even if like paid like well, who knows? I know you'd have to ask her. And she's always good with answering questions. Be like,
Yeah.
where do you
She does
where
a
does
she
this
does a
money go?
Q and A thing. Yeah.
Yeah, where does your money go?
She's
She'd be
probably
like, in
answered
my
that at
fucking
some
yeah,
point. Yeah. Yeah.
probably. She's pretty good at answering like all those questions.
What's the next thing that we want to talk about?
The Ubisoft thing, I want to talk about that.
Which one? Where the people were
Sexual
forced?
harassment
Oh,
investigation.
okay. That one? Sure.
Yeah. I've had it
Uh,
open. I'm like,
okay. Yeah, let me get the link
yeah,
going
tell
here.
me about it. I feel like a lot of these discussions is
I
you
didn't
telling
dive
me
that
the
into
news,
it,
and then I'm
so
like,
yeah.
what?
I
How?
didn't
What?
I didn't dive that far into it, so we're gonna like read it here.
Mm,
But I will say I've been aware of the situation for a while. Because just following game news is just something like Ubisoft's just
yeah.
been in hot water for several years now. And
Yeah.
this, yeah, the same time that all the Activision Blizzard stuff was going on with their sexual harassment stuff, the same time Ubisoft was going through all that as well. It just wasn't as big news because Activision Blizzard had the fucking government on their ass, like
Yes.
investigating them. So, uh,
Oh, Activision. What are you doing?
so yeah, five. So this is from IGN. Five former Ubisoft executives were reportedly arrested following a year-long sexual assault and harassment investigation within the company. Um, this was reported by French publication Liberation and translated by Game Industry. Former chief creative officer. Oh, we're getting into names here. I'm not gonna. These are all French names. I'm gonna
Just
butcher
read.
them.
Yeah. Ubisoft is in France,
Yeah.
right? Or is it en
Well, no,
France?
no. They're Canadian,
Bonsoir.
French Canadian, Montreal.
Oh.
Um. Yeah. So
I don't know why my brain went like, oh, obviously this happened. Fuck French people. I'm like, Courtney, no.
yeah.
Like, I can't, my mind is like, no. Like, we don't think intrusive thoughts. Catching myself.
uh. Wait. Was this in France or was this in Canada? Um. Yeah. IGN. Hold on. So the case is being handled by the public prosecutor's office in the Paris district of um Bob Bobigny. I don't know. Is that
Yeah.
the where is that?
Where are you looking?
I'm on IGN.
I'm on the same site, but mine's just not
The
with ads,
third
or mine's
paragraph?
with ads. The case is handled by Paris. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So that'd
in
be in.
Paris. Okay. After simultaneous complaints were made by the Solidaires in Informatique union and two victims on their own behalf. Judicial police then collected testimonies from around 50 current and former employees. The plaintiff's lawyer told Liberation the investigation reveals systemic sexual violence. Ubisoft when asked for comment by IGN, Ubisoft said Ubisoft has no knowledge of what has been shared and therefore can't comment. Um, yeah, I
Damn.
don't know. This has just been
Sexual violence. I thought this was just a sexual harassment thing from a CEO, like, getting handsy.
yeah, I
Damn.
mean the CEO is also
A piece of
always
shit.
always in hot water. Yeah, and he always wants to be like front center, the face of the company. Why? Take a step back, man. Like
Called
anytime they do a
narcissism.
showcase, he's like, I'm proud to present I'm like, all the workers that are joining you on stage right now, hate you. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that they hate you. You know that they hate you. They know that they hate you, but you insist on being up on the stage.
I feel like if I was there, I'd just be like,
Everybody in the
ugh.
audience.
I sometimes catch myself making faces where I'm just like,
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I'm on camera. Like,
Yeah. This was
but
back in 2020. Yeah, allegations emerged against multiple Ubisoft departments and studios in 2020.
I'm still
Um
waiting for Sony to come out with allegations of their one CEO
that
with like,
Jim Ryan.
I think so, yeah. I heard from
Um
like an old employee that like
uh,
there was like, I think I'd
well,
said this before. And again, let me, if I can just quote it, paraphrase without,
okay,
don't take any merit to my statement, because
sure.
this is from whatever, but it had something to do with like underage boys or something like that,
Oh God.
from what I recall. Yeah. And it's like, it was something to do with
Allegedly.
Sony the C. Yeah, allegedly. So just like, again, like this could be gossip that has no merit or information back to it
Yeah,
whatsoever. So that's why I'm kind of like, and again, these things take a long time to come out. So I'm
sure.
almost waiting. And when it does, we'll be on the podcast and I'll be like, what did I say?
Well, the good
But
news
if it
about
doesn't,
that,
then good. But
on that note, the good news about that is that the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment and guy who famously loves his cats more than women's rights, Jim Ryan, is stepping down
oh, maybe
from
maybe he's
CEO.
like, I better fucking peace out before this, before
I think it's
maybe that's
mostly
why.
I think it's mostly because the turmoil that I mean under his words is that the travel and everything involved in going cuz
uh,
he's in uh he has to travel like back and forth for like the US and stuff, especially during all this Microsoft shit with
yeah,
Activision Blizzard. He's had to do that a lot this year. So I think he's it's just placed a toll on him and he can't be with his family. So that's why he's stepping down, at least under his words, and I can definitely
yeah,
see that. However,
yeah.
maybe it's also convenient that you're leaving when everybody's pissed off at you for sharing how much you love your cats when
More than women's rights.
they're talking about, hey, our abortion rights are being taken away.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're
he
like,
made that silly
yep.
statement about a part of me's like, bruh.
Hmm. And also, he fucked up that court case and everything so bad.
Did he?
Against Microsoft and everything. Like, um, I just like. I mean, at this point, they lost, right? Like Sony lost, and I think that's
Yeah.
just considered a failure at that point. And I think I'm sure there's probably calls for him to resign at that point if they failed blocking Microsoft from getting Activision Blizzard.
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, it's good that he stepped down. Like I feel like I would do that. I like that's like it's like all these things are coming out with all
I
the
wouldn't have
different
sent out that
companies.
email. I'm just saying.
There's a photo of my cat.
Yeah,
But it's like if, you know, yeah, it's time if you have any skeletons in those closets, now's the time to close up shop and GTFO
sure.
before it comes around to you in a way. That's like I don't know. I would like to read into EA. I know there's like it's like there's a whole bunch of different ones everywhere and stuff, but I know.
I posted some articles in Discord, but I cut them off from the sheet.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it's like I know they've done like a really good job when it comes to inclusivity and everything, or they almost were like, oh, this is going to be a thing. They're like, let's start doing the appropriate things now, or at least maybe they've always done it. So I would be interested to like research about the company and just kind of go through like if there were any like allegations that might have happened, or if they were kind of on the ball about it. But then also
Right.
they have a lot of heat for their like microtransactions with FIFA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and this is like again, I'm referencing Alana Pierce because I watch her stuff a lot too to kind of also know gaming news. Um, it's like she was saying, it's like it's a way to make like a company a lot of money, and she's like, it's probably going to be a matter of time before more and more companies start doing that kind of stuff because it's
Microtransactions.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not
and
the only time that's gonna change is what we're seeing with other countries, their governments considering that kind of practice
or like to ban
predatory.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to ban it. Yeah, so when governments get involved, or there needs to be like some sort of regulatory body involved in managing this stuff, that's when we're going to see changes. But for now, it is a successful business practice in the gaming industry to continue doing microtransactions. So that's
Yeah.
the way that's going to continue.
Yeah. Part of me is like, how would it be predatorial?
Just so it depends on how, like, what the microtransactions are and how you're they're going about doing it, because there's just like regular
Oh,
DLC could be considered, hey, you were sold a game, but the game's incomplete. You have to keep buying stuff to complete the game, right?
yeah.
There's the loot box situation, which is now considered gambling in some places. So it's like, hey, you don't know, you're just
Okay.
spending money to like not sure what you're going to get. And that's really the reason why we have Overwatch 2, is for that
Yeah.
reason. Like they can say whatever reason that they want, but that's the reason why they had to do Overwatch 2, because Overwatch was going to be banned in some parts of the world for that reason.
Interesting.
Um
Yeah, because I know even with Fortnite, like there was a huge lawsuit with parents and stuff,
mhm.
and
Yeah,
there was money being, but
and they
at the same
lost, right?
time,
Because if I think you can
yeah,
claim money back from that court case.
yeah, which is I find it in like a part of me is very much like in order for you to do like kind of microtransactions and stuff, you generally need a credit card, which means you need to
Hmm.
be 18 years of age,
Or have
and
access to your parents' credit card.
which then becomes the parent's problem
Yes, but
because
as we
I was
know,
never allowed to use my parents' credit. And I would have to ask permission. They
yeah,
never left it around,
yeah,
so that's why I like a part of me is kind of like the parents getting mad at this company, like, oh my god, my son stole my credit card, which I should have been more responsible for. But it's your fault for making
but
the candy cane minty pickaxe look so advertising that your child needs to have it.
but
Like,
that's the
it's like what?
reason why we have the ESRB and the politicians scapegoating video game violence for like real world acts of violence. It's because famously parents don't give a shit about what their kids are doing, and they want to place the blame on anything but themselves.
Yes,
But
always.
that's just a
And that was my issue
tradition
with
in
Twitch.
gaming now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the thing with Twitch when people were getting mad
Hmm.
about, "Oh yeah, I have to watch this person get naked on." It's like, "You don't
No, you
have
don't.
to watch it." "Oh, well my kid sees this." Why aren't
why
you policing
why are
your
your
kid
kids
on your
seeing
internet?
that?
Like yeah, like why is your kid looking, have you not taught them not to? Oh, I'm sorry. You're absolved from all responsibility because you
Hmm.
just wanted to have a kid because you were brought up and raised to be convinced that that was a life
Yeah,
goal
yeah,
when you probably
exactly.
shouldn't have had a child. There was I asked, or my friend asked Chat GPT to write a haiku
Okay.
about EA, and I found it quite funny.
Okay.
Um, so I want to read it
Sure.
just
Yeah, sure.
because it's about like microtransactions.
Yeah.
Let me just, where is it? Oh, okay. So like the haiku from
Yeah.
the Chat GPT says, "Greed taints their name. EA's games a costly play. Fans left in dismay." I was
It's
like,
good.
"Damn, Chat GPT." Woo. I was like, nice. So I always thought that was like I was like, AI is gonna get us, man. Like this is smart. But yeah, so anyways, back to gaming news.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if we want to continue with Ubisoft stuff, um so I think I brought this up to you, but I don't think you were familiar with the story. Um let me bring it up here. Yeah, so that's not what I. Here we go. Um, this was back in September. So Ubisoft Montreal in turmoil amid what developers are calling broken promises. This is on IGN. Let me go full screen here. So, yikes! What is this? Prime Day 2 is almost here, guys.
I know. I'm waiting to
Okay.
see what deals happen.
Anyways, on September 11th, most of the over 4,000 employees at Ubisoft Montreal returned to office in Montreal's Mile End for the first time in 3 years, but hardly anyone seems happy about it, and many are furious at what they're calling broken promises from Ubisoft leadership. Since Ubisoft Montreal announced that employees would be returning to the office beginning September 11th, the studio's
That's a bad
intranet
day to bring people back to the office, man.
yeah, the studio's intranet has been lighting up with posts ranging from mild concern to outright anger. IGN has viewed a number of comments on the situation across multiple Ubisoft internal postings, including over 270 comments on the announcement post alone, almost all of which were negative. Many of the comments list numerous issues employees have historically had working from the office before as reasons not to return. Noisy calls in an open office, increased expenses, and a lack of sufficient equipment for accommodation. But the anger also runs deeper than the inherent problems with returning to office amid a wider company culture of layoffs, game cancellations, and abuse allegations, which we've touched on. This mandated office return seems to be the final straw for a number of employees who feel that Ubisoft management's indifference to its workers has gone on long enough. Um, this is just a whole situation of like workers not getting the work that they can get done at home as easily in the office because of this office environment, but Ubisoft's forcing everybody to come back. And I've heard of this. I mean, a lot of businesses are doing this right now. And I've heard that this is actually a strategy where, you know, instead of laying people off,
They get them to quit.
providing severances, yeah, they try to get them to quit. And this is a situation. It's like, no, we need you back in office. This needs to happen. You're being forced to relocate because some people are hired under the promise that yeah, you're going to work from home and you don't have to be where the office is. You can be
Yeah.
like located anywhere else in the country or anywhere in the world for that matter.
Yeah.
And then they just flip the switch and say suddenly, oh hey, by and next week we need you back in the office, so you need to uproot your entire family and move out to this different location. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's like, well, you can quit, or there's just other situations like the ones that they've mentioned where it's like workers can't get their stuff done, and it's just all this other like
You
mistreatment, harassment, stuff like that, trying to get them to quit.
Which is crazy. It's like you have to give them a reason to want to go back into the office. Like get like, make it so that, you know, like for
Mm-hmm.
me, there's free snacks sold.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
I'm like, oh, I'm there. Like,
Yeah,
And then there's always like luncheons, and I'm like, I just happened to show up and there's a free lunch. But you're like I go into office and then I have like my PC set up and then I can get work done. But I get the same amount of work done at home. And it saved me, and it's like that's the thing too, is like, if you want them to go back up, then pay them more because now not, then they have to pay the cost of travel and like and it's like you should be getting more money from that. And I think it's I remember reading something where it's like the companies are losing money because of like having these empty offices and like no
yeah,
one there to like occupy them.
yeah. That's the other thing. Like they already put the
Yeah.
money into the office and they're stuck there for a while, so they're like they have to have a reason to have people
Yeah.
in there.
It's why hybrid's like optimal, I feel, if anything. Like if you
Not
want people
yeah,
back in office, make
not
it.
for everyone, but
Yeah, but
yes,
like make it so that it's like if you give them like kind of the power to like want to go in, then
yeah,
again, like productivity is going to be so much better. Like that's the thing you want is like if you have like a good working environment, then productivity is going to be great and you're going to produce great things. When if you're just making like a toxic fucking work environment,
yeah.
shit's going to fucking hit the fan and it's going to spray everywhere. No one
Um,
likes that.
there's this paragraph here. The announcement immediately sparked anger with the studio, with posts on the company's internet listing numerous issues employees have historically had working in the office before, as reasons not to return: noisy calls in an open office, transit costs,
Yeah.
a lack of sufficient equipment or accommodation for specific accessibility needs and working styles. A handful of employees brought up the quality of the Montreal office specifically, mentioning past issues such as leaks, rats, bugs, and dearth of typical office perks such as free coffee. Several raised health concerns, citing ongoing fears about the spread of COVID-19, and many developers accused Ubisoft of breaking its promise. So the previous paragraph mentioned that they promised long-term work from home positions, which is now they're considering broken promise.
Because that's not fair if they hired someone who's obviously out of reach to go back to office, like you shouldn't be forcing them to go in,
Yeah,
you know? But it's such a catch 22 because they're like, "Oh, well then just quit because you know what? There is
hmm
someone else being like, "Please hire me."
sure.
Like I'll go into
Or maybe
office.
they just don't hire anybody because maybe they feel like,
Get them
hey,
to save money,
we
right?
need to, yeah, we just need this amount of workers. We don't need the extra workers.
Yeah, cuz
Or
that
that's what they're
was
saying.
Yeah, because that was like my thing too. It's like when there were people that were talking about like, oh yeah, they want us to go back into office and stuff, and I have
Yeah,
to be home for this reason. It's like yeah, but like if you're like again, yeah, if you're getting forced and then suddenly you lose your job, like they again, just it sucks because it's like there's always that one other person behind you going, I'll do it,
yeah,
and you don't have to pay me as much as this person.
yeah,
I'll take that job and I'll go in every day and I'll do it. Like there's always those people,
yeah,
right? That also need the job. So it's I don't, again, it's just a sorry, sad state the world's in when it comes to like the workforce.
yeah.
So it makes me upset every time and like
hmm
because even like I'm also in the position where yeah, if someone was like, I don't want to go back to work because blah blah, I'd be like, oh my god, I'll take that job. If
Yeah,
I'm getting paid a little bit more than I'm making now, I'll take it because I need that
sure.
money too, right? And it's like, but I wouldn't want to like betray them, but at the same time I'm like, you got to think about yourself and like your needs, right? So there's always like yeah, so it's shitty.
How much
Yep.
time you got?
Like 20 more minutes.
Do you want to talk about the huge Xbox leak, or,
Leak
yeah, the leak that happened? That, uh,
with their mini digital.
yeah, and a bunch
I
of other
haven't
stuff.
seen it.
You haven't seen it? Okay. There's
No.
that. Okay, so I'm giving you a choice here because I mean, there's a lot of other things we could talk about,
Yeah.
but
Give me your list.
the thing I would really like to talk about is the Bungie HR manager being former
The
manager
H
being fired and suing the company.
yeah, let's yeah.
And then there's also the Unity situation, which I joked about at the beginning of the podcast. If you didn't catch my joke, I'm sorry that the recording got fucked up.
You don't have to pay 10 cents for to play this
Yeah.
podcast or every time you play this podcast. Okay, so Bungie. We'll see how quickly we can cruise through these things.
Okay. Oh wait, I already have the thing up. Okay. So I'm reading through the story here because it's a crazy story. This is also
Mhm.
from IGN. Former Bungie HR manager is suing for wrongful termination after she reported potential racial bias. Destiny 2 and Marathon developer Bungie is currently being sued for retaliation and wrongful termination by a former HR manager who alleges she was let go when she raised a potential case of racial discrimination to her supervisors. In a complaint filed earlier this year in the state of Washington, plaintiff Ingrid Alm recounted that she was hired by Bungie in May of 2022 as an HR manager, coming into the job with over a decade of experience. This was actually Bungie was being criticized
Mm,
for like this exact reason, like bad work environment and racial bias. Um, so she was hired on for that reason, right? So, just a few months into her employment, she says she was instructed to investigate the performance of a particular employee, referred to as James Smith. I don't think that's a real name. But when she sat down to speak with Smith, he allegedly pointed out that he was the only black employee in a team of 50 individuals and expressed that he felt he was being singled out and racially targeted by his supervisor. Alm goes on to say that she shared this information with her supervisor and recommended that Smith's supervisor receive diversity training, but alleges that her recommendation was met with hostility and denial. She says she was told that the individuals she was recommending take the training had been there for a long time and are highly regarded, and her recommendation was denied. During a follow up discussion about the incident sometime after, Alm was additionally told by her supervisor that she didn't want to touch those conversations with a 10-foot pole. Following this, Alm alleges that Bungie recommended terminating Smith's employment. Alm says she disagreed, saying this would be racial bias, and in September approached Bungie's Director of Equity and Inclusion, Dr. Courtney Benjamin, for advice.
Hey. Uh-oh. Courtney, what'd you do?
Benjamin suggested that terminating Smith would be too risky considering the evidence, obviously, and
Okay.
advised a written warning be given to Smith instead. I wouldn't even advise that.
Ooh.
However, Alm alleges that her supervisor became extremely angry at her for having reached out to Benjamin and gave her a written warning over email. Alm's
You can't give HR a warning.
Yeah, I know.
HR's the one be like, no.
Alm's
It's HR that has to sign
supervisor
off on it.
Alm's supervisor also called Benjamin to apologize for Alm approaching her, supposedly telling Benjamin that she didn't want her to think that she was a racist. Of course. Later in September, Alm claims she was placed in the needs improvement category
Mm-hmm.
during a review, despite previously having excellent reviews from both peers and clients, and was told by her supervisor to look for an off ramp, an exit from the job.
Oh my God.
Shortly after, Alm says she found her email and Bungie platform access was cut off without explanation, and despite multiple attempts to contact her supervisor, received no response for several days. At the end of September, Alm was informed that her resignation had been accepted, despite insisting that she had not intended to resign and wanted to keep her job.
Yeah, no, that's wrongful
Yep. She
termination. Dun,
says
dun,
she
dun.
declined to sign a document stating she voluntarily resigned, and that an email she sent to the company's chief people officer, Holly Barbakovi, explaining the situation went unanswered. Um, yeah, and at this point,
It's
I,
like, you know what? They're doing like
yeah.
by the book of how to fire someone you don't like, how to get rid of someone. And
But
like,
the
when,
reason why you don't like them though is because they're pointing out how you're a fucking racist.
yeah,
And
like,
instead of acknowledging that, you go on the offensive.
yeah, just,
So, I
you,
mean,
you,
further pointing out to me how much of a fucking racist you are.
yep. And you know what comes in handy in these situations? Social media.
Yep.
When you're like, look what they're fucking doing. And then you
Uh,
get the pitchforks and
yeah,
the
again,
torches.
this happened after there's allegations of this exact situation. And
Oh my God.
2 days prior to this story, uh, Bungie was under a lot of scrutiny on Twitter for posting about um um like Latino representation or Latino representation, but they use the term Latinx, which is um not a term that you want to use.
Oh.
And
Oh,
a lot of people in their comments were really upset, and they were hiding those comments on Twitter.
oh my
And that
God.
post is still up last I checked. Um
Wow.
and
They're like, that baffles me that they're so like, their head is up their own fucking ass, that
yeah.
they're like, no, I'm doing nothing wrong. Like, you guys just, no, it's all, it's like, how ignorant are you?
Yeah.
Like,
So
how like, is it a boomer or an old man or something that's like fucking doing this?
A
like,
white guy,
like,
probably.
yeah, what? Of course, right? It's
uh,
like I hope like this. Yeah, she's probably gonna win the lawsuit, and then
it's
obviously I hope
pretty
all the
fucking
other
clear
people.
to me. I don't know,
Yeah,
man. We'll see what Bungie, because
right.
Bungie hasn't said anything yet. Bungie hasn't said
Yeah,
anything yet. There's a jury trial date for January 22nd, 2024. I'm so looking forward to that because I want to see what that's going to be like.
yeah.
And
They should live
yeah,
stream it.
that was on a Friday, I think. So that's like the end of the news day and be
Oh
at the
my
end of a work
god.
week. So I'm wondering if today they actually said anything. I don't think I looked at their Twitter or
Yeah,
anything.
I don't do Twitter. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
me
like I
neither.
posted recently, but it's like I
But
don't
that's where
even.
some companies are still posting to. Like I don't think Bungie's posting
Yeah,
the threads or anything.
right. But it's like from what it's like that's where
That post is still up,
because
by the way.
yeah, because I know how this system works when it comes
Yeah.
to like, yeah, oh, needs improvement. It's like you're basically like you're finding the excuse to like because you can't just fire them, but
Hmm.
then you do like these things. Oh, well, they didn't improve in the time span that we told them to improve on, so therefore now we have reason to fire these people.
Yeah.
And then but the voluntary resignation that happened with GNC where they went bankrupt and they went and they changed the contracts for all the managers where they're like, yeah,
Sure.
you don't get commission anymore. Instead, it's going to be just bonuses, which like how often you fucking make bonuses in that fucking company is like non-existent. But they're like, oh, but it makes up. It's like, so they were basically all the managers were going to get a pay cut
Hmm.
because of that. And it said, if you don't sign this new contract, you're basically
Yeah.
resigning.
Uh,
And
e-
people were like,
yeah, Musk did the
no,
same thing with
with
Twitter
Twitter, right?
employees. Yeah, he
Yeah.
said if you're he basically did like a loyalty pledge like Trump where
Oh God.
where it's
It's
these where he's like you need to like commit to the company and if you don't I consider this your resignation. Yeah,
yeah. And that's
so
like that's just I don't know what traction they have out there, but like I know a lot of people they like GNC went under fire and
yeah,
like the one guy like he was suing them because he was like, yeah, you guys owe me a fucking
yeah.
ton of money.
There's I mean
And a
there's a lot of
lot of
people suing
people,
Musk right now.
yeah, good, good,
Yeah.
good, good. And it's like, is he fucking again, that pisses me off. That's why I don't use fucking Twitter anymore because I'm
This
just
website right here. Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah, this website. Yeah, it's just I just don't no. I
What's
don't
your
want
platform
to.
of choice right now? Because I'm like hopping between stuff.
Instagram is probably my primary one now.
Yeah.
I have like the biggest like, you know, um, like following there.
Yeah.
But then I've been kind of trying to post more to like Blue Sky or
It's
whatever.
tough because it's not open. So it's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of accounts that I follow that I see are using it as their new Twitter. So I'm like
Yes.
these
That's what
accounts that
I've
I
been.
followed on Twitter, they're posting stuff to Blue Sky, so it's like they're treating it as a Twitter. So I'm like I'm following that and using that. But I would say that there's more people for obvious reasons, more people and brands and companies and stuff like that that are using Threads compared
Yeah.
to Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Because the problem with Blue Sky is it's invite only, and I
Yeah.
don't understand why. I'm like they
So
missed the boat to open it up, but
yeah, I mean, you get enough like invites and stuff like that. But yeah,
mhm.
it's like with like I feel like I need to start using Threads a bit more. I wish there was a way that you could post on Instagram and on Threads at the same time.
I do the reverse. So like because Instagram is all picture based, right?
Yeah. But
Um,
like you would still put like you could put like a caption, and
yeah,
then that way and
yeah.
then Threads would just be reversing the two of
But
them.
threads you have the choice, right? Because you can just do a text based post like on Twitter.
Hmm.
You can also add images or videos, and the images
Yeah.
and videos on Threads are like high quality. So
Oh,
like
good. Because remember where it was gifts that they weren't really good with, right?
yeah, GIFs. I think there's still a problem with GIFs on the site, but and
Okay.
they don't have like an embedded way like Twitter had where you just search a GIFs. I'm sure that's coming at some point. They seem to be improving it. But what I like to do with Threads is like I want to make a text post that doesn't have an image attached to it. I just want to make a
Yeah.
text post. And if I want to post that on Instagram or add it to my stories or whatever, there's a share to Instagram posts or Instagram stories from Threads. So I make the
Yeah,
post
I've
on Threads
noticed
first, and then I post
going
that
through.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I started noticing. I think they just started doing that because it'll
No,
be
they've
like
done. Yeah, they've
it'll
done it for a
it
while.
within Instagram, and then
Yeah.
they'll be like it's almost like it seems like an advertisement. They're like, "Oh, things on Threads," and then I'll see your post.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Oh, like, okay." And then you click on it and you can go to the
Oh
post.
yeah, you're talking about a little embedded. Like there's like that
Yeah.
little thing. Okay. No,
Yeah,
I'm
so
like
I've been getting your posts through there,
yeah.
where, like, I'll see it on my Instagram feed.
What I'm yeah, so that's not me. I think that's just auto generated. What I'm
Oh,
referring to is if you click the share button on a Threads post, you can choose to share it to your stories or as an Instagram post, and it basically turns your Threads post into a picture, and it'll post it as like an Instagram picture post or like your stories.
good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what I've been doing a lot right now with Threads.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, so yeah, Twitter sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I
Yeah,
hope
I'm like ready
I'm
to jump
intrigued to
off the
follow
platform.
this. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah, I've
this
already
is
kind of
definitely a court case I want to follow.
yes. 100%.
Anything else we want to talk about before we end podcast today?
Think
My
that's I
list.
feel like maybe we should do Unity another day and then kind of maybe go through like developers and like
It's pretty. I can sum it up right now. They were just trying to. They're trying to do a new payment structure. Then the part of the structure was well. There's a lot of issues with it. It's like a
yeah,
nuanced thing, but the biggest issue was that anytime somebody downloaded a game that was using Unity, they would charge the developers like 20 cents.
yeah,
So just by downloading the game, and it's not like a first time download, it's any time you download or re-download a game, which would have caused financial problems for a lot of indie developers. And they took a long time going back on that. And they to the point where a lot of developers lost their trust in the platform.
yeah,
And I even have a story here. There's a developer planning on porting a PC game to Switch, and they're like, "Nope, that's not happening anymore because all the trust is gone." So even if they roll back their stuff, which they did, so um,
yeah.
this is this is like this is like the game engine to use for a lot of developers,
Well, yeah.
especially indie
I was gonna
devs.
say yes, but like Unreal Engine, you
That's what I'm
know,
saying. Everyone's going to be
yeah,
moving to Unreal.
yeah, and Unreal's like, we haven't changed anything. Like, we're still here. We have the same scheme. Like, and I
Yeah.
feel like that was like that was smart on their part just to have. They're like, yeah, if you sell more than 1 million copies, then they start taking a cut.
Hmm.
So it's really good. And that was the thing with Unity. I think that it was such a shit on for indie developers.
Yeah.
Like that was the biggest shit on. And indie
'Cause that's
developers already
the
had it
go-to.
fucking tough.
Yeah.
Like they're already like there's so many good games that are indie that are way better than fucking AAA
Yeah.
titles.
I
And
remember
it
they were also saying that like, well, what about like um the like Game Pass or like trials and stuff on like consoles and stuff? They're like, "Oh, no, we wouldn't charge you um the platform holder like Xbox is going to flip the bill." But Xbox
like what?
wasn't part of that
Sorry?
conversation. Yeah, so they're like, what are we gonna do now? So you can imagine, I would imagine at that point, Xbox would have been like, okay, any game
Sorry?
using Unity is off of Game Pass. We're not gonna have it on Game Pass anymore,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Xbox was sitting there like, when you're like with two friends or two other friends and they're having a
Yeah,
conversation, you're just like minding your own business and then you're like, "What?" You're like, "Pause.
yeah,
Sorry? Like, can you say that again?" Um, no. Oh my god.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I think they
so
just like, I think they just like shot themselves in the foot so bad. But like it's hard to recover from that, and I
yeah.
don't think
I
they're going
mean,
to.
big companies will probably still use that
Yeah.
engine, but
Well,
it's
I
like
mean, like Devolver Digital made a post saying, "Hey, when you're like pitching a game or like when you're working on a game, it's probably a good idea now to mention what game engine you're using because that's gonna make the
yeah.
decision, right?" So
Right? Be like, yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
using Unreal Engine. They're like, you're hired.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, but yeah, it's just it'll yeah. Yeah, I've already seen like so many posts from like because I'm a part of a lot of discords for like indie games.
Hmm.
So I've seen so many different posts about like where they're like, yeah, we're taking it
Yeah.
basically, or we're doing this with it, and yeah, it's just
Yeah, I remember for Cult of the Lamb, the developers are like, "Hey, get this game now," because there was the end date for Unity initially when they were going to start
oh,
charging those fees. It was in January. So like buy or get Cult of the Lamb now because we're going to delist it on January. But
nice.
that was before they made their changes. So I think you're still safe to get Cult of the Lamb after that point.
Yeah,
But that was going to be a thing where they were going to pull the game because of the decisions that Unity made.
yeah.
All right. I think
Greedy
that's it,
com-
right?
yeah,
All
that's
right.
all.
Well,
Well, that's cool.
we'll be back for the Game Awards on December 7th. Don't know what time or anything other details about it yet, but that will come soon. Looking forward to that and the big game announcements and probably Kojima being there.
Predicting the future
Yeah.
once again.
So we're gonna end it there. Hopefully you had a good time. Thanks for watching. Let us know what your game of the year is in the
Yeah,
comments down below. And
tell us your
hopefully we'll see you for Game Awards. Anyways, thanks for watching everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
yeah.